You know that feeling when the floor looks clean for about 7 minutes, then somebody drops crumbs, drags dirt in, there's a cable on the floor, the rug gets in the way, and your smart robot suddenly acts like it needs therapy. That's the problem. You want one machine that can deal with real life, not just a perfect demo room. And this thing right here might actually be one of those first robot vacuums that gets way closer to that. And honestly, that matters. This is the Dreame Matrix10 Ultra, and the big reveal here is simple. This is not just a robot vacuum with a mop slapped on top. It can actually switch between different mop pads by itself. It has 30,000 Pascal suction, and it can clear obstacles up to 3.15 inches. So in real life, that means it can treat your kitchen mess differently from your living room floor, pull more dirt and hair out of hard floors and rugs, and deal with doorway lips and floor changes that make weaker robots quick halfway through the job. And right out of the box, it feels premium. You get the robot, the big dog, a whole stack of mop pads and holders, dust bags, and what I love, you even get 3 cleaning liquids. I never see this at all. I usually get the robot and then I need to buy the floor cleaning for robots myself. So I really love that they've included it, but of course it's also a premium price, so that might be the reason. But that did surprise me, and that tells you what kind of product this is trying to be. Even the dock has that, okay, this means business vibe the second you set it down. Okay, so let's do the simple specs part without sounding like a robot reading a box. Up top, it has a moving DTOF sensor, fancy name, easy meaning the tower can lower down and the robot gets as low as 89 millimeters so it can slide under more furniture. On the front, it uses AI, an RGB camera, and a 3D structured light to spot and avoid more than 240 kinds of objects. So if your floor has wires, socks, toys, shoes, or random kids chaos, this thing has a better shot at seeing the problem before becoming the problem. Underneath, it uses a HyperStream detangling dual brush, and Dreamy says it's certified for 100% hair detangling up to 50 centimeters. That's the kind of spec that matters when hair usually turns a robot into a furry wheel of sadness. The dock is where the engineering part gets kind of crazy. It's not just the charger, it washes the mop pads with water heated up to 100 degrees Celsius, uses 20 spray nozzles, dries things out to help bad smells, auto refill water is possible, an auto refill cleaning solution, and auto empties into a 3.2 liter dust bag that Dreamy says can last up to 100 days. So when I say this thing is built for real homes, I mean it also handles a lot of annoying afterwork that normally comes with a robot vacuum cleaner. And one more thing I personally love here is the smart home side of it. It already works with Google Assistant, so if you're in the Google Home world like me, that is awesome. I love to be able to use voice control and make this thing feel like a part of the house instead of some separate gadget with its own little universe. Dreamy also has a full Matter protocol supported section on the product page, which is exciting, but the fine print says Matter comes through an upcoming OTA update. So the safe way to say this, Google Assistant works now and Matter support is officially promised and shown on the page. For me, that still matters a lot, because once that is fully live, this thing makes even more sense for a proper smart home setup. Now let's talk real-life testing, because this is where a lot of products sound smart on paper, then completely fail apart in a normal house. The first fail point for most robot vacuums is the dinner zone. Crumbs, sticky spots, dried bits of food, little spills. You know, the kind of mess that shows right after you already cleaned. In testing, this thing first vacuumed up the dried mess, then came back and actually scrubbed instead of just pushing dirt around in a wet circle. That is a big difference. The second fail point is carpet. A lot of robot mops either skip the rug, drag damp pads over it, or get confused and start doing a dance in the corner. Here I could have it lift the mop on the carpet, or even better, leave the mop pads behind in the dock and do the rug dry first. That's the kind of feature you feel in daily use, not just in the settings menu. The biggest proof moment for me was the threshold test. A lot of robots look brave until they meet one raised doorway, and suddenly they turn into a robot philosopher. just sitting there thinking about life. This one kept going. And the second proof moment was around toys and cables. It stayed carefully around cable wires, and with small stuff on the floor, it tried to dodge instead of swallowing everything like a tiny plastic goat. I also like that it can lower itself for tighter spaces because under low furniture is one of those spots people ignore until the dust bunnies become tenants. It still will not fit under every super low sofa, so let's be real, but under most places than usual, yes. What I like most, first, is the multi-mop idea. This is the headline feature, and honestly, it earns the spotlight. The dog has room for 3 sets of mop pads, and the robot can choose the right one for different rooms. Kitchen grease is not the same as hallway dust pass, and a bathroom should not feel like an afterthought. The payoff is simple, smarter cleaning with less crossover between dirty spaces. Second, the suction is serious. On hard floors, rugs, hair, crumbs, all the everyday mess, it feels strong. The payoff there is peace of mind. You send it out and you expect it to actually finish the job. Third, the dog does the boring stuff for you. Washing, drying, refilling, emptying. The payoff is less babysitting and much more actual help. There are a couple of things to think about before you buy. First, this is a premium robot. And yeah, it's priced like that. Second, the dog is big. Not ugly, just big. So if you live in a tiny apartment with one floor type and very little mess, this could be an overkill. And one more honest point, even smart robots still live by the laws of physics. If your sofa is super low, it is still super low. So this is not magic, but it is a lot closer to useful than most robots. For price, on the Dreame website in the United States, the Matrix 10 Ultra is listed at $1,799.99. That's in US dollars. On Dreame Netherlands, it's listed at €1,299. And on Coolblue, I found it at €1,219, which is a pretty big reason to check both EU links before you buy. So for the description, I would absolutely include the Amazon US links, the Dreame Netherlands links, and the Coolblue link. As for my verdict, it's worth it if your house has mixed floors and it's a big house and you have rugs, kids, pets, doorway lips, and the kind of daily mess that keeps coming back like it pays rent. Skip if you want the cheapest cleaner possible and you don't need room by room cleaning logic. This might be even the best way to say it. The Dreame Matrix 10 Ultra feels like a robot vacuum made by people who actually stepped on Lego before. It does not just throw big numbers at you, it uses those features in a way that matters in a real home. And that, for me, is the whole point. If you want to learn more or grab one, check the links in the description. My name is Zeno. Thanks for watching, and that's enough for floor science for one day. I'm out.